Well, hello, I'm David Brini and welcome back to the Iowa State University Beef Teaching Farm. Today we're going to talk to you a little bit on how we implement conifol feeding on our fall cows, how we manage them a little bit differently than we do on that spring herd. So we're out here in our fall calving pasture. This is the facility where we're going to be calving at this year. In the previous video we talked about how we move this around, and it actually is the start of a pasture renovation series for us. This winter we'll get a little bit more into the different renovation series that we use to really utilize these cows as a land management tool, as well as give us a really good cost-effective way that we can feed these cows, especially our fall cows, when they're at their highest nutritional needs. When in the state of Iowa, we actually have the bulk of our largest feed stuff available, which is corn stalks, which is a very low quality feed stuff. Today though, we're going to talk about how we offer those cows their feed when we're conifol feeding in a situation where we don't have fence line bunks like we have the luxury of at our spring facility. So we have hay feeders that are actually on wheels. We call them meals on wheels. Lots of companies make them. So what we do is we'll actually pull that feed out at 4 o'clock, just the same as we would feed our cows at 4 o'clock in the spring herd to control the time of day that they calve. If we're grazing a crop later on, we're actually going to start grazing some hay fields here for their last cutting. We will do the exact same. We will just let those cows onto that grazing crop at 4 o'clock. Then at about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, we will lock those cows off. By doing that, if you remember back to our spring segment about it, we will get about 90% of our cows to calve from about the hours of 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. 10% of our cows are going to calve outside of that window, but it makes it very manageable for a manager. Maybe you work in town or have another job, that we can actually control the time of day with 90% accuracy on those cows as to when they're going to calve. So we can actually be here for those births. We can get those calves processed, so we don't come in here in the morning to 5 cows, 5 calves, and we don't know who any of the dams or sires are. It just makes life a lot easier. If something does need assistance, we can be here to help. Most of the time, all we're here is to move them over into the pair pasture with the other cows and calves and process those babies. So the conifol feeding has really worked here, and we implement it into whatever calving scenario we're going into, whether it's a traditional brick and mortar facility that we use for our spring herd or our pasture calving scenario for our fall cows. We can either bring them feed with round bales, we can let them into a bale feeder area, we can turn them out into a grazing crop, we can bring feed with a feed wagon. We have a lot of options, but the main goal is to limit those cows' access to feed from the hours of 5 to 6 a.m. until about 4 p.m. 4 p.m. is our time here on this operation where we're going to let those cows in. 5:30, 6 o'clock is the optimal time for us to go ahead and remove that feed. And then during the day, those cows, we're going to get about 90% of them to calve. So it works really good. I would encourage anybody to look at conifol feeding and see if it works into your calving strategy on your operation, because it's sure been a game changer here.